Yeah, money. Money is cool.
Aren't you ashamed?
10-6-9er, we got whores in the city. We need backup now.
Don't be so dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my God! The government is here! Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman! Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman! Wait! Don't do it, Cartman! Wait! I'm warning you! Okay.
Hello, peasants.
Wanna kill all human?
Work there, dude.
We'd like some money. Yeah, money. Money is cool.
Aren't you ashamed?
We got whores in the city. We need backup now.
Don't be so dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my God! The government is here! Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
Hello, peasants.
Wanna kill all human?
Work there, dude.
We'd like some money. Yeah, money. Money is cool.
Aren't you ashamed?
We got whores in the city. We need backup now.
Don't be so dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my God! The government is here! Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
right, everybody, we're here. We're on YouTube. Yeah, it's just me and Ben again because everyone keeps leaving us. I feel
But
like
tonight, James, different than last time. We are live.
we are live this
So-
time. I do appreciate the comments last time. You know, not that I feel proud that we fooled people, but it is great to know that people tune in and still are gonna comment and think that we're
Well,
live.
the chat's still active. That people actually pay attention and come and hang out with us and enjoy hanging out with us. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Surprisingly, even though we're just us two, we lost Liz. You don't have, the looks here. It's just us.
Right. That, I mean, you speak for you. I think the looks are here, bro.
And we were supposed to have some Ohio boys on here, but no, they also bailed. So you know what? Just me and Ben tonight, hanging out like good buddies do.
How it should be, James. Our weekly catch up for what, 3 years now?
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, almost
wild.
4. It is
Still
kind of wild.
absolutely wild.
Hey, at least it's good. If any of us ever get like accused or in trouble or something, we have like a thing. Be like, look, you can't say that I murdered this person. I was on live for the past 3 years here at the same time.
Every Wednesday night. This is where I am. If a murder takes place, I am here. You know what I mean? Like
we have our alibis. But yeah, man. Last week was pre-recorded because I was away. Working on another thing, doing sound. The crew was cool. The shoot was fine, but what I really want to talk about is the town I filmed in, man. We were in this place called Adams, Massachusetts, and it's like literally like probably one of the oldest towns I've been in. I guess it like used to exist as a really nice Victorian town in like the 1800s, and then it was really big on textile mills. Like those were huge around there. I googled it before, but now in the 50s it all just fucking shut down. So it's like there's just like abandoned like fucking factories everywhere. All these like people have moved into these like old Victorian houses that they've like painted, and like everything's made of wood. Everything's wood.
I'm wood.
And the town feels like fucking like a fucking Stephen King novel. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like everything's small, it's super quiet. People are like creepy. Like the only times people are out is at like around 2-3 p.m. and then nobody's around anymore.
And then everybody goes away.
Yeah.
That feels a lot like Westmoreland in general. Like seriously, you know what I mean? Like that small town stuff.
But Westmoreland still feels more like the people are real. Like this town, it was just like I couldn't understand who lives here because there's no real stores. There's no like the houses are all like weird. Like where I was staying at, we were filming also was this like kind of art exhibit / like old church so it was just like creepy, and like I said, it's like no one felt like anyone actually lives here in this town, but somehow people fucking do.
It's what is it? It's like the beginning of Salem's Lot. They all came out after you guys left.
Literally, that's what
I
I'm
mean?
saying. This feels like a fucking Stephen King book, like the way this town. There's 3 churches, no joke, 3 churches, not even like in a 1 block like radius, like within like 3 feet of each other. Crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, all of that small town stuff, you got to think, especially if they were into like textiles as it came up. I mean, for the longest time, there was no entertainment. There was no other industry except for putting clothes on people, like feeding and clothing.
Yeah,
that was industry for like the longest amount of time. Yeah. So if it goes away, the whole town goes away.
There was one Walmart that was huge, and I'm assuming that's where the whole town survives on.
That's where everybody goes is to Walmart. That's hysterical. Well, I mean, dude, so again, small town, my hometown, like 2,000 people, right? Everybody goes to Gallatin to the Walmart. They go up the road to the Walmart there because the prices for stuff in Westmoreland is way too high in general in order to keep things going. And that's due to poor city planning. But whatever. it's one of those things where once you find those big box stores or you find whatever, that's where everyone goes because it's just cheaper,
Yeah,
even if
and
it
this
is like
Walmart had produce too, so it was just like superstore of
yeah,
stuff.
it's yes, good. They've got the produce, they've got the groceries, the meats, one-stop shopping. That's all
Though
any town
they,
needs.
I will say, it did lack in toys. They had like one aisle, and it was just it just felt like old toys from like 5 years ago. They're still trying to sell like wrestling
Oh,
figures that have been around now for like they had like CM Punk AEW figures. There was like a bunch of they were still selling like shit like that, like old old shit.
dude, and not that this is like not to like mark out to Walmart or nothing, especially my local one, but they have they actually have like a really decent toy section. Like that's where I got the Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah,
body.
normally they
That's where I
do.
got
When I've been to other WalMarts where I've seen like really cool wrestling shit, normally you can only buy online sometimes. And I got this
yeah.
Toxie actually at Walmart. Like the fucking my Skelegod, I got that at Walmart.
Same. And you're talking about the Migo Toxic,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. That's what I did too. What's up, Dwayne?
yeah.
How are you, sir? Good to see you in the chat, brother.
We said he'll be back shortly. He's watching some old school wrestling.
Ah, very good. Old school wrestling.
But yeah, so this town was just fucking weird. There was a fallout shelter right next to us that would look like a castle. Like it was made of I said everything is fucking wood except for this one stone building that looks like a castle that has a big like circle like the where the fucking nuclear logo looks like. You know what I mean? And it just said like fallout shelter.
Uh, Do you know if there was ever like a nuclear facility nearby or anything?
No, actually I didn't see that at all online. On the internet it just said they were a small textile town that basically
Got
got
it.
defunct in the 50s when everything moved to the south apparently.
Got it. Okay. Because like if they have a fallout shelter, that's the sickest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
That's
and it looked
amazing.
like a castle, like a stone castle.
The only thing that I could remotely compare that to is in Tennessee we've got a town called Oak Ridge, and Oak Ridge has a nuclear facility, right?
Mhm.
And in the 40s when they were developing the bomb, Oak Ridge was one of the places that they would go to, and like they were working on splitting the atom, creating the
Oh
bomb.
shit!
And over the course of the years, um, like when 9/11 happened, hashtag never forget.
Never forget.
When when 9/11 happened, people in Tennessee freaked out because they're like, "Oh, we got this old Oak Ridge, man. Somebody's gonna come here." It's they used to
Nuke
do
the
bomb
town.
stuff here. And I'm like, the likelihood of them doing that level of research to
Yeah.
find the place is slim to none, I'll say. Slim to none.
Is it still there?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's now like it's a museum. When I was a kid, I forget what year it was, but there was one year, either maybe 8th or ninth grade. We went there on like a field trip to go and see like the atomic bomb museum. It was pretty sick.
That is
I mean,
pretty
I'm
sick.
not gonna lie,
Yeah.
it's pretty rad.
I
Yeah.
do love explosions, even the atomic destruction ones. I mean,
I
it's like
mean,
it is sick to like just see like, whoa, this thing could destroy a city, and you're just like staring at how it's made.
and not only like how it's made, but just when you look at it, you're like, you have two thoughts, right? Like, or at least I did. I had two thoughts, and it's, wow, it's smaller than you would think, but, or I guess but still impressive in size. You would think something you have to drop on a city should be huge.
Yeah.
And it's literally about as long as an average person is, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, I used
You
to
know?
think like nuclear bombs were like way bigger because you always see the rockets, whatever, shoot off and stuff. And then you realize the rockets are there just to be rockets, and the bomb is actually like really small at like the tip of the thing that just gets
Yep.
let go.
And it's all packed into the into that weird little payload at the end of it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's bananas to me.
I mean, didn't the
Bananas.
like original bomb, like, didn't they just like push it off a plane?
Yeah, it's like 6 guys going wee to make sure they hit their mark. And it's all in black and white, and it's all like choppy footage, and they're just like, yay! And they shove the bomb out. Yeah. That's exactly what that is.
Oh man, I hope so. But yeah, I don't know. My brain's a little fried because I do a lot of these things where I go away and work on something for a minute and come back home, and I don't know. You always think it's gonna be the more I do it, the more I get like used to it. But I don't know. You come back home, it's like I have to reacclimate back to like my normal life again. Like I'm so used to like living one way, a certain way, and then getting back is like, all right, now I have to be a person.
You have to be normal again, and it's weird because with what I've been doing, like it's been good, but at the same time, it's completely flipped, like how I do everything in my life right now. Do you know what I mean? Like
How
as
so?
far as getting in touch with people, calling people, like as far as being on the move and
Oh, yeah.
available and whatever, there are a lot of things that are taking a back seat that shouldn't always and shouldn't necessarily take a back seat. And then the second that this thing is done, it's going to be one of those deals where it's like, I don't know how to function anymore.
Yeah, because now no one's calling you. It's just kind of, you're just back to normal. Yeah, it's weird. I said I've done it a bunch of times now, but still doesn't. Even this was only a week, and I'm still like getting my shit together.
I trust me, I do. I know all too well.
So that's why I was hoping to get some more people on here talk over me, but nobody wants to hang out with us anymore.
Nobody wants to hang out. You did say at one point, like this might just end up either being me and you, or just you by yourself. Like,
I'm waiting for that inevitable day where it's just me.
I don't know. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Well, that's why I
don't
love
think
having
that's
you around.
Ever going to be the case.
But Ben, since you keep joining me every week, how's your life been? How's your week going? Or been the extra week that we had?
It's good. Like I'm desperately busy right now. So it's I'm co-producing on a new movie, and it is more of a puzzle than any of the other ones that I've helped out on. I'll put it that way.
Well, because you're the big man now, you get to make decisions.
Well, it's also a lot of navigation through a lot of different elements, things that I haven't done literally in like years. So it's also like knocking the dust off a couple of things. I'm pulling out some of my corporate training in this for certain aspects of it. I'm exercising my brain a lot. There's too much math going on in my head constantly. It's flexing like a weird sort of creative muscle at the same time and trying to figure out all that shit at once. But it's good. It's good. It's nice. But
and this is the most important time in any filmmaking process. If you get a lot of this straight, it makes things easier. Way down the line.
It's gonna make it better overall, and that's the thing. Like the earlier you can think about it, the earlier you can get other people involved, the quicker you start to get answers. All of that stuff. It really is gonna make a shoot 37 times more. Yeah, like easy to deal with. So I'm very much looking forward to mid-September.
Mid-September. Wow, that's far
when
away.
everything is done, James.
Damn, I thought it was early September.
It is, but by mid-September I'll be home and life will be back to normal.
That's true. I mean, I remember on Shitstorm we finished in August and still went back like 2 weekends later for like another week. I think it was like a full week.
Yeah, you guys went back for right after Labor Day.
Yeah,
for another like 5 days.
Yeah, because a bunch of people split and then we went back for a bit. So yeah,
everybody fucking split, James. What are you talking about? Like And those shoots probably went the best. You
Actually,
had
they
like
did.
7 people.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And they had the best. We had a great rap party too. So yeah, those shoots were a good time. That's when the first time I had Bergio and Fletcher live with me. So I don't. Yeah, those shoots definitely felt different than it did like the rest of production.
Yeah. No, I can entirely see that. And that's the whole thing. And in what we're doing, it's we have to be a little bit smaller, which is good, but at the same time it's kind of scary
Yeah.
because,
I mean, we're a pretty big
relying on-
crew on. I mean, Shitstorm was big. The amount of people we had.
Shitstorm was massive. So there are going to be parts to that in certain departments here that are going to be stacked a little thicker than others. But at the same time, where we had maybe how many people would you think on a daily basis? How many crew people do you think we had?
Oh man. So I mean, I know there was 2 cameras, an AC for each camera, so that's already 4 people. Me and Leo, art department, which was you, Derek, Yuki, whoever,
Kelly, Pat,
Amanda. Right. Already at 10 people, plus all I wish I can even remember all the PAs that were there on a regular basis. And then if it was an extra day, easily close to 100 people there.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know that on this one we will be that big.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Probably that sounds a lot better.
Yeah, I don't think we can be, except on like extra days. But even then, I don't see 100 people showing up. I would blow my brains out.
Because I remember, and luckily in Shitstorm, our location gave us some room. But I remember like that whole like back room filled with it was just extras, like just background people, just chilling in that back room all day. While still there was like 30 crew members still working, like the main, the main Prospero's, whatever it was called.
Yeah, the retreat.
The retreat. Prospero's retreat. Yeah, in that place. Still another 30 people.
It's the wildest thing ever. So this one, again, a little bit smaller, but we still have to fill frame. We still have to make sure we have our actor persons. We make sure we have people that are there. We make sure, all of that shit.
What's going to happen when Lloyd wants his random musical number?
It has to come up now. It should be in this version of the script now.
I just remember that in the Poultrygeist behind the scenes where they're like, why are we shooting this musical number at 2 a.m, but it's not even in the script? We just we're spending hours on this thing we didn't even plan to shoot.
Yeah, it may happen. It very well may happen. And you know what? I'm here for it. It's good. Let's do it. But again, it's if you want to be self-referential about the work, it is what Jerry tells Casey in Terra Firma. I mean, Jerry looks at Casey and he goes, "It's from this shit. It's from this chaos that the best shit emerges. It's from this chaos that the best shit emerges." So that's what I keep in the back of my head. So I guess the more chaotic, the better.
I mean, that's what I told myself the whole time.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I think I said it on air before, but I remember Leo just being like upset about something one day, and it was still like right before production. Like, we were still towards the tail end of pre-production when we had the shit house, and we had a big calendar on the wall, and we marked off every day we were filming. And I just remember pointing at the calendar. I was like, Leo, look at the numbers. Like, it's not that many weeks. We just got to go to this day right here. Just, it's going to suck, man, but just this day, and then it's over. We just got to get, just do it.
And it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. It's good. That part is done. And then a whole other part starts, especially from this end. A whole other part will start. But at that point, like navigating and, just working these waters is going to be so much easier. At that point, it's like reviewing things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And man, the rap parties on Shitstorm were my favorite rap parties ever. So,
I remember the karaoke one after the main part of Principal, right?
Yeah.
Like right there in August before Labor Day.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Unreal.
Yeah, Lloyd went up and sang.
What song? It was something about Shakespeare, and I forget what it was. It's some musical number from something. But yeah.
And the
did
second
a song
one, the second one, they fucking Doug is in full Kabuki Man, and we go to this bar that's also having like a drag like kind of comedy show going on, and we just like crashed it, basically. And then somehow we took over the bar, and we started having our own karaoke just on the stage.
Dude, I mean, it's what you do.
I did
It
a
is
full
what you
stage
do.
dive. And I
You
remember
did a full stage dive?
I remember I looked at Romalo because he was near front, and for those he's been on the friend of the show, Andrew Romalo. He's a bigger set
Yeah.
dude, so I was like, "You're what I'm aiming for. I'm gonna jump right into you." And then I did it. I jumped straight into him, but then I kind of bounced off, and I hit this table, and I broke like 4 glasses.
Fuck, James.
It got wild,
That's-
man. It was a wild night.
That's kind of perfect, though. I saw some video from that evening, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know there were, I didn't know there were evidence.
There's evidence of the walk to the bar. I know that. I remember somebody shooting some of that. Either that or somebody called me on like a FaceTime or something. I
Probably
forget,
did.
but it was-
We tend to call you when we're drunk, especially then. You know, we would have been fresh missing you.
Oh, listen, it was too much fun. Too much fun. But anyway, yeah, you guys came what is it? Unhinged. You came unbound.
Oh, it's right. We did come Unbound because you know what? Initially, we were talking about Superman Red Sun, but fuck you, HBO Max, for taking off your own movies for some reason. So I switched it to Superman Unbound, which is also still awesome. But like, fuck you, you know?
So and that's the wildest thing because I think we were even talking about it like last week.
Yeah, and it
right?
was on there. I remember searching, like I saw it on there.
Yes. And then literally today, a few hours ago, I was getting ready to watch it because I wanted it to be a little fresher on my head. And I had the time today to really kind of devote or whatever. And I texted you and I'm like, where is it? It's not on Max anymore. It was on Max. And your mind seemed to have been blown in that moment.
Yeah, I was pissed because it's like that's the shit that I it's also none of it's on Tubi anymore either. A lot of these animated movies are on Tubi that also got taken down, but that makes more sense to me because Tubi's licensing that. But Max, that's a Warner Brothers service. That's like Disney just being like, yeah, we're gonna take off our MCU movies. We just don't want them there. It doesn't make sense to me. You own this shit. What am
All
I
of a
paying
sudden,
for?
Disney doesn't want Mickey Mouse on their.
But it's like, I don't know, it just pisses me off. This is what I'm paying for. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean that's the thing, and I wonder if it's like algorithm. Yeah, Dwayne agrees. Fuck Max. Exactly. It sucks big times. They fucking took it away. I can't, for the life of me, understand it either because, yeah, it makes you wonder about their servers.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder like how much space they actually have that's the thing they have to take away. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I would think that it's almost unlimited. I know what I
Yeah.
can keep on like an 8 terabyte hard drive.
That's what I'm saying. And I look at these other streamers. I mean, they're keeping way more shit on there. It's like, what are you doing?
And what are you doing, Max? What are you
Man,
doing?
it sucks. I really loved Max. I did. Because it had literally everything on it, you know, that I wanted to watch. All HBO, Cartoon Network, all the DC bullshit. And now all that shit's like going away. It's like, these are your properties. Isn't that why you have a streaming service? To showcase your properties?
Well, isn't that also like the crazy thing to me with that is that even if it's not like quote unquote their properties or whatever, they either bought or acquired the rights to be able to show it when they bought out these other streamers, or maybe there's something contractually down the road or whatever. So I have no idea. I have no clue, but it sucks my balls.
Yeah. Totally sucks.
See, we've got our dear friend Babette Bombshell checking in on us. Says they bait and switch their subs with the content. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's going to
nonsense.
start being evangelical Jesus stuff. Very, very soon.
Very soon. Switching platforms completely.
That it's all gonna be like Robert Tilton and Joel Olstein or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I actually, I weirdly, so I saw the new Omen movie recently, which is also very good. It's actually a really good movie. But the trailer, one of the trailers they played before was like this weird, like, brother. It was literally Righteous Gemstones in real life. Like, I thought it was like a mockumentary, but it's a real trailer. I honestly can't remember the fucking name of it now, but it was just full, like, two brothers on a giant stage just preaching and being like, you have to watch this movie. It's going to change your life forever because of God and all this. Like, this, I was like, what?
They've pumped out a massive number of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, over the course of time, it sells. Fear sells, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Which is ironic. Like I said, I saw the new Omen movie, and the plot of that movie is that the church, the church, literally, it's the church that's spoilers. The church is creating the devil, like the son of the devil, on purpose, so that the devil could wreak havoc, and then people would come back to the church.
Right, to get that money.
Yeah.
Like, what I want to see is the I would actually really love to see a very sort of a musical, but it's about like the Omen style sort of thing. The church is figuring out ways to get people back in because now their coffers are low. And it's just a bunch of like
two priests dancing around, singing like, "How do we do it?"
they've all got their robes on or whatever, and then they pull them up to do the rocket kicks. You know what I mean? And they've all
one of them's not wearing underwear, or like they're wearing like the pantyhose with the heels on.
Exactly.
Oh man, but yeah, but
it's amazing.
What we are talking about is Superman Unbound, and yeah, I flipped it last second, but this movie I remember being pretty good, and I did watch it. It is good, but Ben, have you seen this before?
I believe so. This is older in the bunch, right? This is like 2013.
Yeah, 2013. So this came out literally when The Man of Steel would have come out. So that's over. Yeah, 11 years ago now.
11 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I will say about this that the opening is very, it's kind of intense. It's a little tongue in cheeky.
It's pretty classic
sort of fun.
Superman.
Yeah.
There's terrorists. Lois Lane's about to die. Superman swoops in, and then it's Supergirl that kind of flips it.
Well, and the fact that this is a Supergirl story, sort of, like,
yeah, sort of.
I feel like third act we kind of lose her.
Yeah, no, she really, yeah, she's just there in the beginning to kind of set up Candor, and then she's kind of fades away.
Forgotten about it. I can't tell you the end of her story.
Yeah, I know.
What is the end of her story?
She meets her parents at the end. She gets to see.
Okay.
I guess that's kind of her whole arc, is that she missed her parents.
Yeah.
And she has some trauma because she's a teenage girl, so she has to have emotions and trauma.
They're supposed to hate their mothers, teenage girls. Isn't that the stereotype? That's what they do.
It's just because they even joke about it in the movie with Lois. There's a scene where she's crying, Supergirl, and she was like, "Wow, it's nice to see a Kryptonian with emotions." But in my head, I'm like, of course, it's the girl Kryptonian, so of course they got to give her the emotions. Superman can't cry.
He can't have no emotions. I don't know. So throughout this, the tone underneath it is kind of also very classical sort of Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Lois is upset that she can't tell anybody about their relationship, but she wants to. And Clark's like, "I'm worried about your safety." And she's like, "Don't worry about my safety."
I mean, he's not wrong, because every superhero movie, show, whatever I've ever seen, the bad guy just immediately is like, "Oh, you have a girlfriend? Oh man, I'm taking." So recently they've been doing all the Spider-Man movies in theaters, so I've been going to see all the Spider-Mans, and I just finished watching Spider-Man 3 last night, and it's still the same thing. It's just that like, oh MJ, we can't be together because the bad guys will find out. Then the bad guys find out, and then they kidnap MJ.
And they kidnap him anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're always going to find the people that are closest to you, sure. And so I get what he's saying, but I also get Lois, we can't, live in a bubble. You know what I mean? And she just wants to go on living, man. She don't want to stay stuck.
Yeah, and then she keeps getting hit on by the gross buff guy in the office.
Yeah. So that's also very funny to me. I thought that was hysterical. Where when he's describing who Clark Kent is, doesn't have a girlfriend, extra buff, takes good care of himself, like basically implying that
he may be somebody.
That Clark was what they used to call him in the 50s, a confirmed bachelor.
Yeah, confirmed.
So like I got a kick out of that. I thought that was pretty fun. And I like that they didn't kind of shy away from it. And then I love how Clark comes in and knocks the guy off his chair or whatever.
Oh, he does like a heat vision to the leg or whatever.
Yep.
Little jealousy. Little Superman jealousy in there.
Yeah. All that's good, but I honestly wish this wasn't a relationship study.
Yeah, because actually what I like about the movie is none of that stuff.
Right.
It's really the Brainiac stuff that I like. I think is the best. Because why I do like this movie a lot, and why I liked it when the first time I watched it, is because rarely do they do a Brainiac story kind of anywhere, like anytime for some reason. And he's like the coolest fucking villain, man. I mean, this motherfucker is stealing cities.
I also love Brainiac. I also really love Brainiac in general.
Because he's so creepy. And like, yeah, he's like, the whole ship is connected with him, and he can just like, he can live forever as long as there's like a piece that's, surviving.
But a fleshy AI is, you know what I mean? Like a flesh bound AI, like computer biometric thing that, what is it he says? He's got hundreds of thousands of worlds inside him or whatever.
So this is kind of a nerdy thing because not a lot of people did watch it because it kind of has like a shitty pitch to it. But have you watched the show Krypton at all?
No.
So it's based, like, trying to like without like remember the whole pitch of it, but it was like, it takes place way in the past. It's like Superman's grandfather, and then this guy travels from the future, and then there's this like, someone's after, your grandson's gonna be Superman, someone's gonna kill them, but Brainiac is the main villain of the show, and he looks fucking so insane. The show is really good. It's super nerdy. It's like basically Game of Thrones and Krypton, and it's just like, it's made by Sci-Fi, so it has this really nerdy like aesthetic to it. But I'll send you this. I'm gonna send it right here in the chat right now, so you can check this out because it is like the coolest Brainiac I have ever seen. I'm pulling it up.
I also like it because there's like, you can do a lot with the design of that character. You know what I mean? And people have. Like, Brainiac's one of these people that has changed.
Have you ever seen the whatchamacallit? The Superman Lives Brainiac? Because he was gonna be the villain in that movie. And there's like a bunch of like really cool concept art of just like his floating head and shit. And like basically the skull head that was in this movie was kind of going to be like a thing in that movie. And it's sick.
Oh, Bab says that Lobo is great in Krypton.
Yeah, Krypton fucking rules. She said nobody really watched it because it's sci-fi. I don't know why.
Isn't it crazy that these good things go to those places, and it's like, it's sad because you do have some good things. You do have some really, like, honest to God, good sleepers hanging out there. I'm just looking it up because I don't see it in the chat.
I know, I'm trying. I downloaded. Got to download a JPEG. But here, I got it.
Oh, no, dude. This is wild.
Here we go. I got it now. Yeah, it looks so sick. He looks, like, amazing. Like, it's all makeup. It looks incredible. Oh, no.
That's really good. That's really see, and that's the thing. So for the folks listening,
Yeah, I'm
it's,
gonna put
it
it up.
is
Yeah, you can
what you would want it to be. This green
everything.
skinned,
Yeah.
like dead eyed, like all the knobbies are on his head. He's got his
Yeah, have it up here on
very
YouTube so
iconic
you guys
3
can see it.
points of light on his chest.
No, it's so sick. Like all the makeup is like perfect, and he's so fucking dark in the show and stuff. And the show also brings in like Doomsday and stuff. And Zod is like also a main character, but they do a flip with this character where he's kind of good guy in the beginning in a way. It's like they really do an interesting turn. But so Krypton rules. That's all I'm gonna say. But nobody really watched it. And I don't even think it's on Max. To even bitch about Max now even more, I don't think it's streaming on Max.
Of course not. You know why? Because they take off all of their stuff. They'll put it up for a little bit and then they take it right away from you.
Yeah,
HBO
it
Max
is streaming on Tubi, so there you go. Everyone can watch it for free and not have to pay any money to Max.
Perfect. We're not paying any more money to Max. I'm going to cancel our subscription, James.
Nah, we still need it. Who knows how much longer we need it? You know, they keep fucking taking off shit. There's not even many cartoons left on there in general.
Yeah, no, it's we might have to find a better repository for a few.
Well, I'll say it next week, but next week we're moving over to Paramount because I was switching streaming services just because.
Ooh.
But yeah,
because you're pissed at me.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah, but man, this movie does rule. Like I said, Brainiac is just one of the coolest villains. So, like, and this movie does him like pretty perfect. I wish they would do this live action, like this Brainiac, this story right here.
The what is it? I love the way he just sort of floats around the ship. I love the way he controls the ship and things are going just sort of in and out and connecting to other things, and it's all very fluid. It feels like you're living inside of a brain.
Yeah, and he's like feels like the core of it when he's like in that like machine thing, all like kind of bundled up in it, but it's just his head sticking out. And Superman has a great line there where he's just like, "Well, of course you put yourself in the center of the universe." Because he's surrounded by all the cities.
All the cities and the planet. Yeah. Actually, Superman has a lot of great lines when he finally gets to Brainiac. There's a lot of, what is it, like, there's a little back and forth about him being a god and all of this stuff.
I mean, the last bit, the last monologue he does at the end is just, like, so cool. Like, that's pure Superman to me.
During their big fight?
Yeah, when he's just monologuing and he's like barely he's like punching him a little bit and he's like, "This is Earth. You don't feel the all the bacteria, you know, the mud and
this is mud.
Yeah.
This is mud. All these disgusting, creepy, gross things climbing on you and in your nostrils. You can't smell the muck."
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. That shit was wild. But to get us there, James, how do we get there?
So, I mean, also, you know, the voice actor who plays Superman, weird fact, is the same actor who plays Negative Man on Doom Patrol, who is also currently voicing The Flash on all the current DC movies.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that
okay.
Matthew Bloom, I think his name is. He also had a USA show. I can't remember if it was Suits or White Collar, but one of those shows. He was on USA for a while.
That's like, I mean, I get it, dude. If you're in good with a company and you can do voices, I would do every voice ever. Yeah,
I mean, same thing with even Doom Patrol. I mean, he was barely there on screen. I mean, he was Negative Man, so he just voiced the mummified looking dude the whole time.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I would love to be a voice actor. I would take it in a heartbeat. I can do one voice. And then I can also do a thug voice.
Yeah.
What do you guys want? I can do that.
Boyd.
Listen, let me tell you something. Anyway, those are the only ones I do. Thank you. Hire me.
I have some of that still.
Do you really? Tucked away?
Yeah, I mean it's on YouTube somewhere, but you know, It's there.
What episode was it that we talked about underpowered, James?
That was a long time ago. I mean, I was in San Diego, and I actually feel like awful about that episode because I was in San Diego. I was like, man, I'm just gonna talk about this thing because it's easier, and I know a lot about it. But then I just kept talking about being in San Diego more than answering any actual questions about what any of that was about. But
Love
so, that episode always feels like I botched it when I think about it.
Now, please, come on. Whatever. Pep back up. Put some pep in your step. Let's get Unbound, baby.
Let's get Unbound. Superman Unbound. And yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about this too because Superman's kind of, it was Superman Day recently when I decided I was going to do it, even though now I think it's been like 2 weeks. But, Superman was like all kind of, there's a lot of Superman stuff going on. And there's James Gunn movie and shit. So I was like, man, I wanted to go back and I want to feel Superman a bit, because I don't know, Superman is my favorite superhero, even though I know he's like the golden child, but he is still my favorite.
And like, I get the allure. Like earlier today, I was kind of thinking, okay, I have a really stupid Superman question. All right.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there knows, you can email me if you think if you can tell us the answer. Totally.toonular@gmail.com. When Superman flies into space, okay?
Yeah.
He is influenced by our yellow sun, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. However far away our sun is from us, that can still power Superman up. Now, what happens if he flies out of our solar system? Or what happens if he's in space and he just flies into a section where our yellow sun don't affect him no more? What if there's no other types of suns around?
In this movie, you see him, he's in a spaceship. I mean, they do that. In the animated series, he actually has a spacesuit that he wears like outside and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, he basically just loses his powers. I mean,
okay.
And also,
well, no, he lost his powers because when he goes into the city,
red sun, talk about.
Huh?
You're talking about the red sun.
The red sun.
Yeah.
Because he goes into that city and he can't do anything because he's inside there and it's a red sun. So,
I mean, the further he gets away from the sun, he just loses his powers pretty much. And I said that's why he had a spaceship. And if you ever watch the All-Star Superman movie or read the All-Star comics, they do the reverse where Superman actually has to like save this ship from going into. Cause, I don't know, somebody was doing some experiment. They're gonna go close to the sun for some reason, and their ship, like, I think it's like Luthor plants like a bomb or something, and the bomb is going into the sun, so Superman has to fly directly into the sun to save them, and he gets so overdosed with the whatever the sun rays and whatever that he's actually dying because his body is being overproduced.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that much.
It's basically like he gets like Superman cancer, where like his cells are like constantly like built. You know what I mean? Like spread
yeah. No, like he can't handle the power.
Yeah.
He literally can't handle the power.
Yeah.
Superman
like All-Star is
when He-Man becomes he summons Grayskull without the fucking sword.
Oh yeah. And then he gets,
without the conduit, he becomes like a giant brawling mongoloid.
Well, Superman just gets cancer and dies.
And that's not funny, poor Superman.
But also, it's a good movie and good comics, so worth checking out. But yeah, so this movie, so fucking Brainiac stealing cities, and I do love the backstory when we get to the flashback of Kandor when Kara's talking about these fucking like robots just like grabbing people by the head, sucking all their knowledge out, and then it's like, no, you're too stupid, die.
One of my favorite things, actually it is one of my favorite points, is when Supergirl comes up and the robots are in town, and there's the one, as they're doing all of that, she comes up behind him, and it's like you just see both her hands on the side of his head, and then it just crunch.
Yeah.
Like it just crunch.
Yeah.
And then she drops him. Perfect. That was perfect. That was a great visual. All the stuff in Metropolis and Smallville, like, I get why you have Mr. and Mrs. Kent. I even forget their names right now. Martha and Tom.
Martha.
Martha.
That's what stops Batman from killing Superman.
Well, how do you know that name?
Name.
That's my mom's name. So like I get why you always have to have that in there. I get why there's always an element of Smallville that has to show up no matter what, right?
Yeah.
I did love the sleeping dad, Clark's dad, just passed out on the chair.
It always bugs me when Clark's dad is still alive, because to me, one of my favorite things about Superman, they've done it in Smallville in the original Superman movie, his dad dies of a heart attack. And it's just like this amazing, I mean, not an amazing moment, but, it's this incredible, like, learning moment for Superman to be like, oh, I literally can't save everyone. I can't stop a heart attack from happening. I can run super fast and save you from tornadoes and, terrorists. But if you have a heart attack, I have to learn what that means to lose somebody and what life means.
Right. Because again, too, if he's as powerful as he is, his aging is slowed, all of that stuff, he's going to outlive everybody around him no matter what.
Yeah.
He has to learn loss.
So yes, when I see his dad's still alive, it's just like, I feel like Superman didn't learn that lesson.
Well, maybe not yet. Maybe it'll happen right before the wedding in this one.
Right. His dad has a heart attack right before the wedding. But, I'd rather him still be alive than the way they did it in Man of Steel. I don't know if you remember that at all.
Remind me.
His dad dies in a tornado. Because his dad is just like, don't save me from this tornado. And he's like, why? I can just save you. And he's like, no, the world can't know who you are or whatever. And then he just dies. But it's just so stupid.
That's Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was a good Jonathan Kent, but it's just this like, if Superman can save him, he's not learning that lesson, Like, what did he really learn? But now he just has to live with his dad just dying,
That he let him die.
Yeah, exactly. Which I guess is fucked up, but it's not. Yeah, it's just dumb.
No. If my dad was like, leave me to this tornado, I would be like, no. You're crazy.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And he could have moved so fast, he would have been like in and out before even anyone would notice. Be like, boom, boom. All right, you're good.
So, do you think like, and he is, I'll say what I feel right away, but do you think like they've done enough to numb Superman's powers over the years so that he's not just completely overpowered the entire time?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They do that a lot. I mean, it's like, but that's also why I actually like this movie, because I feel like a lot of movies do that, where they have to like, I mean, this movie kind of does it, but what I like is that when he with Brainiac as a villain, it's finally he's not fighting someone that either is the same person as him or someone who's taking his powers away and just trying to beat the shit out of him, Because those are always the two stories that usually they'd go for. It's either you are Superman or Superman lost his powers. This is like something totally different. That's why I always dug this story, where it's like he only loses his powers for a bit when he's in the Red Sun world, but then he gets them back like pretty fast.
But then it's a little less about his powers and more about sort of his brain.
Yeah, exactly. Because even Brainiac says something about him just throwing fists all the time.
Yep. And like, I think when they play into that and they have to, when they not take away his powers in the story, but make him flex his brain.
Yeah.
It's good. I think that's also why I like the Superman stories with Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because he has to like play his game to be able to beat him.
It's inside his head. Yeah. It's like a puzzle he has to work through. And Superman, while he might be, super strong and super everything, he's not necessarily super bright.
Yeah.
He's not super smart. He's
just a farm boy from Kansas.
Yeah, exactly. He can milk a cow in a fucking nanosecond, but
well, that's what I'm hoping the James Gunn movie will kind of do. Because like I said, the same thing. Yeah, like I want this story. Like I want something different. I feel. I mean, I have no. They haven't released anything what the plot is, but that's what I'm hoping. I feel like James Gunn's the kind of guy who would get that. And he said he's doing the All-Star Superman kind of vibe. So I don't know.
Cool.
We'll see.
I feel like a thinker makes a think piece, and
Yeah.
I feel like James Gunn is a guy who actually thinks about what he does. So it's not just big fight all the time. So
So I
you
mean,
can
not to bring up some stuff on air, but I mean, you've been talking to the boss man a lot. I mean, is there any Superman dirt you got to? I know you don't sign any NDAs.
there is no dirt. I know no dirt. I know nothing.
Nothing about a little Mixelplex man.
All I can say is that, and literally all I can say is this: I, as much as anybody else, want to see that happen. That's all I can say. I want to see that happen. Do I have
James
any
Gunn
inside
posted
baseball?
it, and then Lloyd commented on it. I was like, is he listening to us?
That blew my mind. But all that was a comment on a post.
But
that
I
was a
mean,
comment on a post.
but it's like Lloyd saying it's his favorite, while James Gunn is posting about it. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's me filling in blanks, but.
Well, I've been filling in blanks all the time, but do you think I'm that close? No, not in the slightest am I that close to know inside baseball at all. I'm trying to piece together a schedule, James. That's what I care about.
I just in the middle of him just yelling about something, be like, "Oh, can you? By the way, are you in Superman?"
Could you tell me maybe? I don't know. No, I have no clue if there's any level of reality to that, but all I can say is that God, I hope so.
Yeah, it's too perfect.
God, I hope so.
It literally is.
Because it's what the world needs. Whether they know it or not, they need an extended Lloyd Kaufman subplot in the newest Superman.
He's just like sitting on Superman's shoulder, they give him shit.
I will say this, if he does show up, I can only hope that they shoot the scenes in the trauma basement.
I mean, they can, right? They just need Lloyd's head on a green screen, and they'll just plop his head onto whatever little person.
I would laugh so hard if if that A is true and B is shot in the trauma basement.
I just want the world to know that if it's true, we called it here first.
What, like a year and a half ago?
We've been saying it, so I want a credit, or at least put Totally Toonular in the credits somewhere.
We heard these kids say it this one time, this one place. I just want to be able to go to the internet and be like, we were right about something. This is why you should listen to us.
My thing is, I hope that like James Gunn was just strolling through Instagram one day. He sees he was tagged in something, like, oh, what is this? And then it's just us tagging Lloyd, like, you got to cast Lloyd as Mr. Mixoplex. And then it just clicks in his brain of like, holy shit, I never thought of that before. That's so perfect.
He's been thinking about it for 35 years.
That was why he took Superman in the first place.
That's it. That's the only reason. It's the only reason. It's the only one I can think of.
I don't care about the millions of dollars you're going to pay me to make this movie. I want Lloyd Kaufman as Mr. Mixoplex. This is the only way it's happening.
You know what would crack me up is if he was the big bad in the movie. And like if he was the whole movie and it's like an hour and a half, 2 hour long Superman movie, but Lloyd's in like 90% of it with him.
Just traveling through dimensions, forcing Superman. Oh man, it's got to make it
It would
happen.
be so good.
Hopefully, we'll see. I guess we'll find out in a year from now. I think it's 20.
Yeah, something like that. I hope so. We'll keep bringing it up here and reminding you guys that we were right.
We were right. But back to this movie. It said, I love that Superman gets to fight Brainiac and not just muscle. Even though Brainiac is huge in this movie. Like when he stands up for the first time and like just grabs Superman by the neck, like they make him massive.
What was and you would remember better, was it it was one of the young Superman things? It was a Supergirl story, I believe, where she goes to do like New Justice League and we get introduced to Brainiac's kid.
Oh, that's the Legion of Doom. That's like in the future, because in the future, not Legion of Doom, sorry, the Legion of Superheroes. Because in the future, the Legion of Superheroes, there's Brainiac 5, I believe is his name, and he's like a good Brainiac. Like his programming is just different. He's like a piece of him. So people still hate him. They bully him because they're like, "Oh, you're Brainiac," and he's like, "No, like, I'm not."
That's my brothers and my dad.
Yeah.
That's not me. It's my family.
Then him and Supergirl get together.
But even in that, if I remember right, he's also like this. Usually, you see him as almost this like emaciated, like very thin sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Or he's just like a floating head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like in that he was like a full like just regular teenager. He was green.
Yeah, but in this, it's yeah, you're right. He's buff. But wouldn't you? If you were like an AI bot creation?
Yeah, make
that's
yourself the
both
biggest,
flesh and
scariest thing ever. Yeah, for sure.
pump myself up so much, bro. Like you don't even know.
You know, they had Brainiac in Smallville too, who was played by fuck, I can't remember the actor's name. It's James something. He's the guy who played Spike on Buffy. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, okay. Yeah, the blonde-headed guy with the
yeah, the spiky hair. Yeah, he played Brainiac on Smallville. He was cool, but Smallville, as much as I love that show, they never, you know, mostly probably because of budget constraints, because it's, you know, weekly WBCW show, but they never went full board Brainiac with him. You know, he always looked like a person, and then he would kind of like change his body.
James, I'm looking at it now. This is a horrible Brainiac.
Yeah, he's just like a person. Yeah, but the character is really good though, because
bad white hair and a design on his T-shirt that has the 3 dots. It's very bad.
But the character is great because he like takes over. They do like the Luthor thing, and he's like takes over Lex Luthor, and he has like a ship, and like Clark's got to like make him better, because they eventually do the Brainiac 5 with him at some point. But yeah, but like. Really, Krypton is the best Brainiac out there in this movie.
110%. 110%. This is a good one. Didn't they used to also draw him with like a ginormous head too, like on a little body for a while? Some of the older comics.
I think so. You're probably right.
I think so. But anyway, whatever. So Superman has to use his mind over his muscles.
Yeah.
In this, but he still uses some muscle. I love that when he brings Brainiac down to Earth, it's the noise. It's all of the sounds, all of the everything that he can't handle. And what is it? Superman says something about, I learned to live with it. You know what I mean?
All
like,
right.
He's like,
yeah, because he also has super hearing too, so he's got to, you know.
He has to hear it all. And he's like, you can't even take it. You think you know everything about these places, but you can't really handle it because you've only dealt with it as though it were a scenario.
Yeah, and like that, because they talk about that too earlier in the movie when Superman does go to Kandor, and it's like, yeah, Brainiac has all this knowledge, but has this controlled knowledge of like, I'm stealing these cities to figure out how they work, but I'm putting them in a controlled environment, so they're not really living. They're just constantly repeating the same thing. So he doesn't really know everything. He's just trying to cultivate that knowledge and control it.
It's like us with SimCity or like The Sims. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's Brainiac living his sim life.
We send them to work. We know what they do. We watch their interactions. We watch their little green thing on top of their heads, but do we know really how the Sims work? I don't.
No. You don't know
I
what
still
their
can't
lives
speak
are.
Simoleon.
Yeah, they're actually talking shit about you the whole time.
Wouldn't that be wild? I bet they are.
Sims
I wonder,
sentient.
has anybody ever done that with because you know there are people like Klingon is an actual language that you can learn that correlates to English.
Dothraki.
Right? Yep. I wonder if the Simmies or whatever they call
maybe,
it.
probably. If you're out there, let us know. Let's learn some Sims talk.
Because that would be wild. I would love to go through and figure that out.
Yeah, you go back and it's like a whole new game now. They're actually like hating every decision you're making, and they're actually arguing when they're supposed to be talking, and you think that they're like falling in love.
I love it. So we do have somebody else here in the chat. One of our Cleveland boys popped in to join us.
Bergio.
Former roommate John Bergio.
Former roommate Bergie. Yes, and he gave us a fun fact, though. It was for the wrong movie that we aren't watching because Max fucked us. But he says the fun fact: the kid billing young Superman at the beginning of the movie, which is Superman Red Sun, was an alternate version of a Russian prince, Dmitry Roman. I don't know how to say the whole last name.
Romanovich.
Dmitry Romanovich, where he was actually born as a young peasant boy. Oh, that's interesting. That is a fun fact.
If we had watched
Red Sun. Watched it. And that's
if
a cool movie, but, you know. I really wanted to, like, honestly, out of everything about Red Sun, I really wanted to talk about the Russian Batman because it never made any sense to me, and I really wanted to watch it again to talk about Russian Batman because I still don't understand it.
Well, you have to put everything in the same context. Do you know what I mean?
Like,
you have to put...
If it's the way I always thought this was, it's like this is an alternate universe, but it's our universe, but Superman just lands in Russia. So does that mean Batman's parents are still getting murdered over in America somewhere? Yeah. So I still don't understand how he just becomes Russian. There's just a Russian Batman because Superman exists in Russia. But yeah, I don't know. But I didn't get to watch the movie because of fuck you, Max.
I don't know. I think the notion is that, well, everything's Russian. Is there like a Russian Green Lantern? A Red Lantern? I guess maybe.
There are Red Lanterns.
I don't know. I know there are Red Lanterns, but like in that,
Not
I
Soviet
can't remember
Red
if there was
Lanterns.
a Green Lantern. But whatever. Like, yeah, Max fucked us, so that's where we're at.
No, yeah, and Superman stealing Metropolis, that was sick. I mean,
I liked what is it? When Supergirl meets Lois on the rooftop and Jimmy's swooning. It's before the probe comes down.
Yeah. And he's just like in love. He was like, well, my watch can do that. And he's like, I'm going to keep this watch forever.
But he, and then when Lois, it just dismisses him and then basically comes out to Supergirl as Superman's girlfriend. Right?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I can trust you with secrets.
Also, Clark never said anything to her either.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, well, here's the kicker, though. For me, I was also thinking, I think too much about this stuff. I was like, what if it was a scenario where Lois was actually a reporter? How quickly does Supergirl give up that information to someone who just tells them? There, look, I know about
that's
Clark.
True. Yeah. She is just a reporter. She could easily be anybody. But yeah, I'm dating
What if
him.
she was just making a guess?
Yeah.
You know? What if she's just making a guess?
There's no photograph evidence, you know?
But I thought about that. I was like, they give up this stuff way too easy, and it's too simple.
Yeah.
Too simple. Supergirl should not trust her.
No. Also, Supergirl, man, they gave her like the definitely the sexiest outfit they could. I'm trying to use the nicer word.
What? It just straight up hot?
Because I mean, they literally give her like the tiniest skirt and then just like straight like just under boob. Just that's where it ends.
She got gams and midriff, bro.
Yeah.
Gams and midriff. But that actually takes me back a little bit to the Smallville thing. I did like something that Martha said to her a lot. I thought it was very, very sweet, and I thought it was one of these. I thought it was an exceptional moment, right? Where she goes, "Oh, honey, you know, whatever. I get it. You know, we're not trying to replace your parents. We never could. And besides, She goes, what? We're not trying to be your parents. Besides, we're too old, and so are you."
And she was like, I know you're going to leave probably soon anyway.
I loved it. I loved it. You'll always be welcome and a special part of our life. I wish more olds were like that.
Yeah. For real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But hey, the Kent family special that way. They're always welcome in. There's like the one episode in Justice League where they invite Martian Manhunter for Christmas.
So open and accepting,
Yeah.
right? Of just like their son's weird alien friends. Like that could translate to like me and like all my old punk buddies.
Yeah.
When like
or even now, just with your wife bringing over all these trauma guys to sleep in your house.
all these weirdos to sleep in my home. Yeah, no, it is. If Jen was anybody, she is Martha Kent. Yeah.
It's like you like Superman bringing Martian Manhunter over. It's like you bringing Derek over for the first time.
What is this weird little alien man?
It was like, hey man,
hey, I come down from Mars. I'm hunting people, man. What you doing?
I don't know what Christmas is.
Oh my God, that's great. What kind of person are you? I love it though. But yeah, it's very, very true. There's a level of acceptance, but I think it was more for me. It's more just about the idea of like, hey, look, nobody's trying to parent you. You figure it out for yourself. You can figure this out.
Yeah.
And
also Supergirl, unlike Superman, for those who don't know the lore, is that she came here earlier than Superman, or sometimes around the same time, but she came here as a teenager and she was frozen. So she was already basically, unlike Clark, who was a baby, she kind of came here as like sort of an adult, basically, you know, like having knowledge of another place rather than just the baby. So I think that also gives her that level of maturity more of like, yeah, you can leave because, you know, you understand things more than we don't have to teach you as much, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's wild though to me because again, I don't know. This is what gets weird. If she's frozen as a teenager, like, is she like in the Arctic and then gets thawed out? Like,
yeah, usually that's how it goes. She's like in the Arctic somewhere, kind of Captain America style.
And then Superman, you know, he's been growing up, and then they find, okay, dude, I don't know. Maybe if it's because she's buried in the ice near the yellow sun, but
she's also in a ship,
so
I know usually she's trapped in her ship. That I'm sure is doing, I don't know, you know, it's superhero lore.
Because I still feel like she should be aging.
Well, I mean, I think as far as when we first see, I think, like, I mean, they don't really explain it in this movie so much. But what I always gather is, like, right when she's becoming Supergirl is pretty much almost immediately after her being found. You know? Like, right now, I'm pretty sure this is still early Supergirl, like, fresh to Earth Supergirl.
Yeah.
So she's, like, she would age, but she's just not aging now. But I guess you're saying because she was trapped in the ice, would she still age? I mean, I don't know. Captain America didn't age.
I mean, your blood, I get it. Your blood, your heart, all of your body processes sort of stop, I guess. Or
and Kryptonians already age slowly, so maybe it just progressively makes her age even slower.
Yeah, but Clark has grown to like at least
it's been 30 years.
20s.
He says 30 in this movie.
Yeah. So if he's aged 30 years and then she's still a teenager, but she got here first, and yeah, she was frozen. Either she needs to have been aged in the ice for the 30 years that he is, and she should be like a 45-year-old woman,
well,
like
I mean,
chain
like,
smoking cigarettes.
Like, there's a recent, I mean, I actually don't know how recent it is. Recently, I found this video, but there's like, they found this like frozen girl not too long ago, something like, I don't know, from like 1,000 years ago or something like that, like frozen in ice. Like,
right.
Basically preserved as, I mean, it's obviously a dead person, but like preserved.
Yeah, I was like, did she fucking grow, James? Like,
no, but she was still just.
They thought her out. Was she alive? Does she start growing again now? Like, no, she's dead as fuck. Like,
hey, this is superhero logic you're arguing with here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, she's got that Kryptonian blood. She was frozen, so she stopped aging.
She got that good Kryptonian blood, man.
But I will say about Supergirl in this movie is that she actually like saves a lot more things than Superman does. I mean, she's like solving like the world's problems by getting rid of human traffickers, and She said something about going to Somalia about pirates or some shit like that. Like, she's literally going around the world just saving things. And what has Superman been doing this whole time? Just fucking Lois? Like,
dude, that's sort of what I gathered.
Yeah.
Like that. That's really.
She's been
sort
Supergirl
of
for
what
probably
I
like a
gathered.
couple months and has already solved like way more problems than Superman has in the 30 years that he's been around.
And it's wild though. That's the other part of like her thawing out and then having powers. Clark's had 30 full years above ground, above ice to learn his powers. And like for her, it's just like, oh shit, when I
Yeah.
step on a bug, I punch a hole in the sidewalk with my heels. Could you imagine if Supergirl got into like crush porn like immediately
Oh,
as she got
damn.
out? She didn't know
It'd be like The
she
Boys.
had she didn't know she had superpowers or whatever, and then she's stepping on some guy's balls one day, and she just like
crushes him.
steps him down into a fucking pit.
That's some shit from The Boys, man. There's like
truly.
the one dude who like talks about in The Boys where he talks about banging a chick he didn't know was like a superpowered ice lady, and then while
Right.
they were fucking, she like froze his dick on accident and like breaks his dick off.
These are the conversations that like I want to have.
Well, that's why I
this
love
is
The
where-
Boys, man. I think The Boys creates that kind of conversation. That's why I love that show so much.
What was it in is it the second or the third season where the guy walks into the giant dick?
Oh, that's the second season. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's like crawl my dick.
And then he gets big inside the guy
Yeah.
and just explodes him.
Yeah,
Dude, you know that was practical, right?
yeah. I've sent you the photo. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they built the whole tip of the penis practically on a green screen. God damn, I
greatest thing
fucking love
ever.
that show so much. But yeah, I mean, but it does answer those questions of like, yeah, what do superheroes do when they fuck? What's the worst thing that could happen? You know?
Exactly. I don't know. I do love The Boys a lot.
Because they talk about too with Superman a lot. I mean, I think it's Mallrats. They have that conversation of like, what happens when Superman busts a load? You know, like, is it gonna bust straight through Lois? Is it gonna put a hole through the ceiling? Is it, you know?
This is what the public wants to know. Period. Does he have to be celibate? No. Because what we find out later on is that Lois has a super
Yeah, they do
vagina.
have kids at some point. I know that.
Right.
At least now, currently in the comics, or like now they're pushing a lot. That Superman and Lois show, they got kids and stuff. But I remember on Smallville, that was like a couple episodes where Clark was like, "Oh, I can't fuck you because I'm afraid." And then Lana gets like powers, and they're like, "Oh, we can fuck now," and they cause like earthquakes around Smallville.
So that's another question. Do you think like he learned that as like a 12-year-old like jerking
Oh
off?
my god, I never thought about that. Cause yeah, he
I
has
mean, I
to
know-
jerk off, right? So it has to. Imagine. Do you know how like your parents would find like dirty tissues or like dirty socks in your room? Like Martha Kent moves the bed over and it's just giant holes like through her like wall.
Oh, Clark, it's always so drafty in your room. And he's got the headboard above the wall where
Well-
he's just like shot loads all through it. His dad's like, why do I have to keep replacing these windows?
Why is it sticky?
Oh my god. But so from there like he fights his Brainiac, he comes back, and I also like I dig why the story ends the way that it does with him asking Lois to marry him. He's come around, he understands
Yeah.
what is genuinely important. But again, I felt like I didn't
Yeah.
care about that.
Yeah, I
part
didn't
of the
care.
story.
Second he beats Brainiac, I'm like, cool, this movie's over. Because I said that last fight scene with Brainiac is amazing. But I do want to talk about one thing that confused me in this movie. So Brainiac has all these other cities. Superman couldn't even save that one city, that other alien city. And then, so when he's in the ship, he beats up Brainiac, right? He punches him in the head, he knocks him out, destroys whatever, takes Kandor, and then flies away. And I was like, so what about all those other cities? He never goes back and gets and frees those other cities. Not that I remember.
Well,
and then he just leaves that ship. Like, what did he expect to happen?
I mean, I guess the impression is because they do leave out a lot in this, like back and forth. They leave you scratching your head a little bit about a few things, right? So I would assume that he uses his super speed to put them all back where they belong in the universe and then head back home.
Yeah, but then the first time he like destroys it, flies back to Earth, and then Brainiac, builds his ship up again, comes back, and he was just kind of chilling in Metropolis for a minute, and I was like, you just forget about all those other planets? One of them is kind of your fault that got kidnapped too.
Wow, that's a really good point, actually. I just assumed he saved everybody's day.
I remember seeing him grabbing the Krypton city. And also I was thinking, and this is just me just thinking about shit, when he puts Metropolis back when it's a tiny city in the center, right? What if he was off by like an inch?
Oh my God.
Like, how does he know that that's the right spot to put this city in? Then it's not going to line up to the roads. It could cause more chaos.
I mean, it could make jobs too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody has to adjust everything by the slightest little bit in their lives,
Everyone has to move everything slightly to the right.
Oh my God, that's funny. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was talking about doing a prank where they would slowly move somebody's desk at their work.
That's funny.
Like an inch a week. So it's like it's 6-7 weeks before you realize I'm so much closer to Johnny's desk. How in the hell did this happen? And then they keep moving it and moving it and moving it. Yeah. I don't know, man. I also had a question, and I lost it because yours is just so much better. Oh no, here it is. Same thing. All right. How much time passes here? Because he says he's going away for a while.
I mean, because he has the spaceship. That also looked like it skipped through space too.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess the time is kind of all over the place. Because for me, it felt like a couple days. This movie.
So, how can Clark Kent constantly be leaving his job and then come back and still have a job?
I mean, technically, he's a photographer for the paper, so he would be out taking photos, I guess. Right? I mean, that's but then you would need a reporter to be with you.
What else are you taking pictures of?
Yeah.
Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
He could be like Peter Parker, like Spider-Man.
Yeah, but Peter Parker takes pictures of himself.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But I always wonder that about how some of these people keep their day jobs if they have them.
Yeah.
Clark
literally has a day job. I mean, he works it's like working for the New York Times.
Yeah. You're either out or you're on an assignment, but it's very rarely Clark has an assignment except for what is it, like cakewalks and shit, you know? I'll bumble around and maybe I'll follow Lois a little bit.
I mean, usually you can chalk it up as him just being really fast, where he just goes off, saves someone in the city, flies back, before anyone even notices. But then it's with this, it's I don't know. It feels like he was gone for a while.
Well, or any of those other big Justice League stories or any of that stuff where it's or he's up on where he's in space at the base or whatever, and he just seems to always be there,
Yeah.
I don't know.
These are all the questions that James Gunn needs to answer.
Yeah, how does Clark keep his job? That's what we want to know.
He just gets fired in the first like 15 minutes in the movie. James Gunn's like, good, that's how I handle it. He gets fired.
He gets fired, and then at the end of the movie, he brings a picture back in, lays it down on the desk, and he's rehired all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's it. Or they keep him on like a commission-based situation.
Yeah. Like I said, like I know because in the Spider-Man movies, Peter Parker is always just a freelancer. He's never a staff position at the Bugle.
Right. Never a staff position. I mean, it's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You can hang out there, but you can't work here.
And Superman always had a nicer apartment than Spider-Man's. Every time I've seen him have an apartment.
Yeah, Clark Kent lives well, and that's because it's salary. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So
you take sweet salary position.
And you can say that, oh, maybe he's with Lois, but Lois has Jimmy Olsen who takes her photos, so.
Yeah, she doesn't need Clark.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
He just somehow just skates by like every day, just like the boss sees him just perfectly amount, like just enough to believe that he's there.
To believe that he's doing something. That's the thing. They don't have to see you do a lot, but as long as every time they see you doing something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every time they see you, you're doing something. That's what you want.
And that's what all my corporate jobs that I've had has been like that.
Yeah. And the second boss goes away, you can just put your thumb right back in your butthole. And life is good.
All right, well, let's just go around, man. What do you got for this? What are your final thoughts? What do you want to give this?
Do you mean a cross?
Yeah, cross, whatever. I know it's only us two. That's why it's weird. I don't have more people.
There's no around at this point, James. It's from back to forth.
So across the screen, what do you got for us?
I did watch it twice, back to back. I liked it. I would say a success. It's not gonna light you on fire.
So let me get louder.
Success.
The Brainiac stuff is the best part of it.
Yeah.
Like all day long. The rest of it, like maybe the first 15, 20 minutes. Well, okay, first 5 minutes, awesome with the terrorist thing. Then you can lose maybe 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And then just keep the Brainiac stuff.
Just make it like a half-hour movie.
Yeah. And we didn't really talk about it, but I did think that the post credits was both.
Oh yeah, what was the
awesome.
post credits? I kind of missed it because I was like, I didn't know there was a post credit, and I kind of walked away, and I was like, oh shit, there's a post credit.
So what it is it's like it almost looks like Brainiac's skeleton almost is inside this thing, and you're wondering
Brainiac
what
can't die. That's why.
Yeah,
it could be Luthor. No, if you remember. In the animated show, when Lex Luthor and Brainiac become like one, it's pretty epic.
Yes.
So maybe that's something they were hinting at, even though nothing ever came about this post credit.
All you get is like the little box with the 3 dots, right? And then those just go bling at the end. It's like he's back online.
Yeah, you can't kill Brainiac, man.
No, none of this shit can you really kill.
No, not even Superman.
No. He just goes to sleep for a little bit.
All right. So
what about you then, man? What do you think?
I'm going to give it a... I didn't press the button.
Success.
Yes. Success. I said I watched it for the first time back in 2013 when I saw Man of Steel. And I was like, man, this is the Superman movie I wanted, to be honest. And yeah, it's like the Lois Lane stuff is good. I mean, I think that those story points would actually work better if the movie was longer than hour and 15. Like, I just don't think there was enough, time to give character development, so it kind of just feels shoehorned in of, oh, we need to fill out this story, so just throw in this little Lois Lane love story of Superman trying to get married, just to kind of fill out some human
with
story.
Her saying, I want a normal life.
Yeah.
I know life will never be normal, but I want the things that other people have.
Yeah. But I think if it
jealous.
was longer and you can kind of flesh out those scenes more, I think could have been better. But yeah, it's really the Brainiac stuff that makes this movie, and it makes me upset that we haven't gotten Brainiac in a live action bigger movie because just in this movie he's just so fucking sick, And it's just a way better story where Superman doesn't have to fight someone. Like I said earlier, he doesn't have to fight someone who's just like him, or having to just take his powers away. You know,
Right?
It's like this is a fresh, cool story, and for some reason, big Hollywood doesn't want to do it. But you know, maybe James Gunn will. But yeah, I do really like this movie, so I'm gonna give it a
success.
And only an hour and 15 minutes, so you know, pretty easy watch. So
quick and fast, man.
Yeah.
Quick and fast. Like, it was good. Like I said, I watched it twice back to back. So
hell yeah. So yeah, Superman, Man of Steel, the man. So wait, Ben, you want to ask me something?
yeah, James, what are you and I watching next week?
Next week. So we got a guest on next week. Friend of the show as always. The Beans comes back.
Yes.
Chili Beans. He'll be joining us. This is his pick. He's been annoying me about it for a while, and hopefully Liz will be on it because she asked to talk about this show too. But I want to watch this Nickelodeon show because fuck you, Max. We're going to Paramount, baby.
Dion.
And
Good.
I want to watch the show My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Oh, right on. Okay.
It's been a long time since I've watched it. I used to watch it when it was on TV many years ago. But out of Ben, do you have any watched this at all?
So it got brought up here one time,
Yeah.
and I have no idea what this is.
I
have no clue.
She's a superhero teenager who's a robot and who also just wants to have a normal teenage life, but she can't because she's a robot. She has to be a superhero.
Awesome. No, this looks good. I like the art. It looks very sort of Powerpuff Girly.
Yeah,
kind
of has that vibe.
In the style, yeah, at the very least in the style.
I remember liking it when I was younger. I used to watch it a lot, and then one day it was gone. Like before I understood how shows got canceled worked, you know, it was just one day I was watching on TV and then it was never there again. So
oh shit, they got Eartha Kitt in this? Wow.
So yeah,
I know Cree Summer.
So look at that, you know some people. So yeah, we'll check it out next week, and so it's been a while. Hopefully it still holds up. So we got the Beans on next week. We got My Life as a Teenage Robot. Hopefully we'll get friends back on the show, Ben.
Maybe.
It could be
we
us
might
two
put
again.
Garrett. Me and Garrett might have to go and do something else. We may have to break away and go do other work.
I would love it if the boss man calls both of you at the same time on it.
in the middle of everything,
Yeah.
and then it's just a mad dash to start shutting down microphones real quick. Or we just put them on speaker and you get to hear us get yelled at.
Yeah, just put
late
me
at
in the
night.
phone call and I'll mute myself, and then just, I can have it play live.
I love it. But no, if you are listening to this and you are in Nashville, I do want to do a quick plug. We're doing our Nashville Nightmare on Saturday.
Nice.
We're doing halfway to Halloween. Come see me at the Haunt.
Hell yeah, halfway to Halloween. Man, I can't believe we're halfway to Halloween.
I know, it's fucking bananas, bro. Bananas.
Bananas.
Anyway, James, always a pleasure, brother.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. Thank you for everyone commenting. Peace out. Yeah. Where's the camera?
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman. Wait. Don't do it, Cartman. Wait. I'm warning you. Okay.
Hello, peasants. Want to kill all humans?
We're there, dude.
We'd like some money.
Yeah, money. Money is cool.